Well, I mean, if you're a good foreman and you're doing your job, then you shouldn't have any fear.
Shouldn't have any fear, yeah.
You know, especially if you're working with a good, credible company, you know, they're going to continue to keep you on. You know, we want to build our company. We want to see it expand, so we're looking for future foremen.
Suddenly, we were very interested in rooting for Kentucky because you win $100.
Yeah, right, yeah.
But I was like, shit, I'm gonna let you start making the picks because I never did get that many. You know,
Evidently, Kentucky played Alabama. I know they didn't win.
No, Alabama won, in basketball.
Yeah,
they're killing me. Damn Alabama. It's like they're
we're rolling, y'all. If y'all want to talk about some construction or something.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Well, enough of that Roll Tide business.
Yeah.
Jeff Spencer, how are we?
I'm doing good, Chris. How are you, bud?
I'm well.
Good.
Well, it's a Wednesday evening.
Sure enough.
Yeah,
Weekly meeting.
Yep. It's our ProfitDig content meeting. It's always a good time.
Well, yeah.
Having a few beers, blowing off some steam, talking about some construction. Jeff, you were talking about something earlier that I thought was very interesting. We said, hey, we need a video for this. And you were just talking about, you know, the demand for, you know, good foremen and operators in construction right now, and just how companies are facing the possibility of other companies coming in and poaching their talent. And so that's increasing wages, I mean, which is good.
Yeah, it
is. I mean, that's what we all want at the end of the day. And so
it is good, and it's not good. You know, when it happens, you know, if you've got outstanding bids that you bid at a certain labor rate, and then you've got to up your game, you know, and then, you know, you've got to, the only one way to make that money up is in production.
Absolutely, yes, it today.
Right.
But if that lifts the market, then everyone can benefit from it. Yeah,
exactly.
So that's good.
Yeah.
And so it got me thinking. All right, I'm a foreman. All right, let me take a step back. I'm a foreman, and I'm not necessarily new in construction, obviously, or I shouldn't be a foreman, but I'm new in that position. And maybe I didn't have or spend as much time in the field as some other guys. What could I do to increase my performance, be a better foreman, do a better job for my crew or crews, and potentially earn more money?
Well, I mean, it's, you know, as long as you're doing your work and meeting production or getting more production than what's required, and as long as you're doing it in a safe way, in a way that is, you know, not going to come back to bite you. You know, like, you know, you don't want to mess up something today and kind of skim over it and then come back and fix it later on. You know, you never want to do your work twice.
Right.
But,
or safety.
Right.
I mean,
safety.
you never want,
you don't want to jeopardize anybody's life.
Absolutely.
You know, first and foremost.
Sure.
But, you know, my thing is, if you've got a good crew and you've been working together for a while, you know, your foremen should be able to see potential prospects that they have on their crew. You know, to me, a good foreman is someone that is going to involve other crew members and kind of train them. You know, and like what I like to do, you know, I like to move people up. I don't want to hire people from another company or hire people, you know, off the street. I like to see, you know, when we need them, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I like to see our guys, you know, get trained in the field and move up, you know, as into one company. The company I work for right now in particular, you know, most of the guys have been there 10 plus years.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and, you know, because, you know, we pay good wages and we give them opportunities to grow. You know, as long as they're willing to learn and pay attention and show that they can show up every day and take the learning that they're getting and use it to progress their level in that particular field, then they could potentially come up, you know, to be a foreman or a superintendent, you know, go through the ranks, right? Sky's the limits.
Yeah.
And of course, every time you move up, you know, that's an increase in pay.
Do foremen ever feel threatened by that? Like, I mean, I guess it depends on the scenario or situation they're in. But if I'm a foreman, do I ever maybe not want to teach the guys under me as much as I know, or this or that, with this fear that they may take my position?
Well, I mean, if you're a good foreman and you're doing your job, then you shouldn't have any fear.
Shouldn't have any fear, yeah.
You know, especially if you're working with a good, credible company, you know, they're going to continue to keep you on. You know, we want to build our company. We want to see it expand, so we're looking for future foremen. What better way than take a guy that's been with you 5 or 6 years, you know, and then this foreman he's been working under has trained him up, and you know he's got the grasp of what's going on. He knows how to shoot grade. He knows how to set up a laser. He knows how to, you know, do whatever. You know, he can operate.
Right.
You know,
he can get in the ditch with a shovel.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He can do it all.
Yeah.
And so at that point, you know, knows how to read a set of drawings.
Yeah.
You know, all those things are key things. And if your foreman takes an incentive to teach these guys as they go up, then what better way to grow a company than keep it all in house?
Sure. Now,
And
so
then-
that.
But you know, but when you make that guy a foreman, he's got to have a crew under him.
Sure.
So at that point, you know, you do generate other jobs, you know, that's outside the field, or outside your company. So you know, now you're reaching out to people that is not associated with your company, or you're taking applications, you know, because you got to build this crew around this new foreman. And like what I like to do, I like to take, you know, I may rob 1 or 2 guys from another crew or something and put on his crew to give him some stability to where, you know, he's not depending on outside help that may not be as progressed as what he is or what he needs to have to support him.
That makes total sense. You can bring a couple of outside guys into a crew that's, you know, been working together.
Right.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So then that foreman, I mean, I guess it's also, well, let me ask you this. I'm a foreman, and let's say I've been in the field for a number of years. I guess there's obviously an advantage to me, even if there are situations where I'm going to be running a piece of equipment or doing some of these other things. Just for one, just to stay fresh on your skill.
Right.
You know, I mean, I know it's not something you lay down at night and just suddenly forget how to operate a piece of equipment, but there's more than just moving forward and backwards and picking the bucket up and down. I mean,
Well, and we our foremen, we like them to be, you know, what we call working foremen. So you know, they're not just sitting in a truck looking at a set of blueprints, you know, day in and day out. You know, they're out with a crew. You know, they may get on a piece of machinery. You know, maybe excavator, wheel loader, dozer, whatever it may be, and they may get in a ditch and have to lay pipe.
Yeah.
They may, you know, get out and shoot grade. You know, it just depends on what needs to be done. And so we call them working foremen, but that's what they do. You know, is they're not just a foreman that runs a crew. You know, they get out and participate, you know, in day-to-day activities as well.
yeah, and I bet, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if I had a list of all foremen in construction and their wages from East Coast to West Coast, those who are identified as a working foreman, I bet they can earn more money.
Well, yeah,
That's someone who's
just
just
because
reading
they're going to
plans.
get more production and do it with less men.
Yeah,
Because, you know, he's taking up the gap of someone else that you got to fill that spot with. So
sure. I'd be paying someone to do it.
right,
Yeah. Not to mention motivational.
right,
You know, we've all had jobs at some point where, you know, the boss man, he's hanging out in the heated truck in the
Yeah.
middle of winter, or
Yeah.
the AC's blowing on him in the middle of summer, and it's
Right.
you know, when he's actually out there with you, then it kind of motivates everyone too. You
Yeah.
know, it kind of sets the stage that
Right.
no one is better than anyone here. We're
Exactly.
here to do a job, and we're just going to get it done.
yeah.
Yeah.
And if you are that one particular foreman, you know, and a lot of bigger construction companies have them, to where your job is to keep the job laid out, and that's all you do is focus on those drawings and keeping the job laid out, then you should have an operator or a lead man on site that is just as almost as equal as you are, to where he can keep that crew motivated, just like you're talking about. You know,
Sure.
he's got to, you know, keep them going and pushing them. And most of the time, you know, whatever the main piece of equipment is, that operator generally is the person we're talking about.
Okay.
You know, it's like if you're laying pipe, then that excavator operator, if he stops or it shuts down, then the whole crew shuts down.
The whole crew shuts in.
So
Yeah,
you know, it's
absolutely.
it's up to him to keep everybody motivated, while your foreman is trying to look at day-to-day tasks and get everything lined out.
Yeah.
But you know, a good foreman can be a working foreman and still get day-to-day tasks laid out as well.
Sure. Well, that's fantastic. Well, Jeff, this is very helpful, and I think it's going to be helpful to our listeners.
I hope so.
I appreciate your time.
You
as
bet,
always.
Chris. Good talk to you.
Good talking to you.